To access the graphical user interface of Raspberry Pi without any monitor, we just need a few things such as advanced IP scanner, Putty, BNC server, BNC viewer, and so on. Then let's start it. As we have already installed Putty, so let us open it. Select the Raspberry Pi 4 device and then click on load and then open it. Here we need to give our Raspberry Pi credentials. So let's type Pi and its password Raspberry. Thereafter click enter to access the Raspberry Pi terminal. Now let me clear this screen and perform this Raspberry Pi configuration command. We will get a configuration window. Here select this display option and then choose the BNC resolution option. Then click enter to get the list of screen resolutions. From this list, I am choosing a 1920 into 1080 screen resolution because I have a full HD monitor with the same resolution. We are doing this because the BNC viewer will match my monitor screen resolution and the GUI will be displayed properly. You can choose any one of these resolution according to your laptop or monitor screen. But remember, the higher screen resolution may not give smooth frame rates if you don't have 8 GB RAM in your Raspberry Pi. If you have 4 GB or 2 GB RAM in your Raspberry Pi device, then please go ahead with lesser resolutions such as 720 pixels or 480 pixels. After selection, just click OK to save this. Next, let's go ahead with interface options. Then here, choose BNC and then click Yes to enable BNC server in the Raspberry Pi device. After making these changes, the BNC server will be automatically enabled on every boot. So you don't need to start the BNC server manually. Then clicking on OK will save this setting too. Finally, go ahead with the finish at the bottom to save this configuration. It will ask you to reboot the Raspberry Pi device. So click Yes to reboot it because rebooting will start the BNC server which is necessary. Now let's close this terminal because it is dead now. And then after waiting for 1 to 2 minutes, scan the Raspberry Pi device again. It may take hardly 2 minutes to complete this scanning. This time also, the same IP address is allotted to our Raspberry Pi. This is the MAC address of my device. Copy this IP address and then open the Putty application. Now here we need to paste the IP address to access our device. But as you see, we have already saved the same IP address for our Raspberry Pi 4 earlier. So we don't need to do it again. Just double click on this Raspberry Pi 4 and it will open its login screen. Next, we need to enter Raspberry Pi credentials here. After this, we will be taken to the Raspberry Pi terminal. Please note that once the BNC server is activated on the Raspberry Pi, you don't need Putty anymore. You can directly enter the IP address of the Raspberry Pi in the BNC viewer and access the GUI of the Raspberry Pi. Now, the next step is to download BNC viewer in our system. So, open the internet browser, type Real BNC and search for it. Then proceed ahead with the Real BNC official website. Here, click on the Products drop-down menu and then click on this download option. Now, we are on the Real BNC Connect page. You can read the Real BNC has two parts, BNC Server and the BNC Viewer. So the BNC Viewer is actually the BNC client. It has been named as BNC Viewer. We do not need BNC Server. It is already present on our Raspberry Pi device. So just click on this BNC Viewer link and we will be taken to the BNC Viewer page. Here you can choose the respective device where you want to use BNC Viewer. I am going with the Windows option because I will use this on my Windows system. Then next, let us choose this standalone 64-bit option and then click download to start downloading this software. After completing the download, open BNC Viewer. In the search bar, we simply need to insert our Raspberry Pi's IP address. As soon as it connects to the Raspberry Pi BNC server, it will give the security warning message. Here, you just need to ignore it and proceed with the continue option. Now, we need to enter the Raspberry Pi username and password here. In my case, it is Pi and the password is Raspberry. Now, as soon as you click OK, and if everything is fine, it will show the Raspberry Pi desktop screen. Just maximize this window and then ignore this message. From this maximize icon, you can fit your desktop screen. So this is how your Raspberry Pi screen looks like in the BNC Viewer application. You can click on this BNC icon and check your device details. So finally, we have completed this setup.